So let's,
Okay, fantastic. So my superpower, I believe, is strategy. And when I came to the meeting, I was like, so how do I position this as a website? Like, how do you tell people, hire me to help you strategize your business, your product, your life? How do you do that? The reason why I'm back in North Carolina is my parents are aging and both have two separate businesses. My dad has a construction company, and my brothers really don't want to take it over. And I'm like, well, what am I doing? Why don't I come help? So I have inheriting a construction company, not a GC. I've been around it most of my life. He's been in business like 50 years, but don't know a lot about it. However, because of strategy, I know that it can change from a small family business to a much larger enterprise. It's just, I'm just injecting a level of expertise that I made other companies billions with, just doing it for my family.
right.
I would like to create a brand, a marketing brand that encapsulates all the things that I am doing, but I don't want to confuse my potential client. My avatar can be any of four people, and I know I need to narrow that down. And what I need your help with is isolating what is the type of business, and hopefully you can ask me probing questions so we can get to that because I've not been able to nail that down. What is the type, what is our front facing business that won't confuse others, but will make people enticed to do business with us? So my company is called Resolution Capital Group, and you'll see that on the, um, or did you become a member that day, or are you a member of
I'm a
Queen City?
member. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so you'll see my profile there,
Okay.
and it says construction company
Uh-huh.
because I was thinking to get contracts, construction contracts.
Mm-hmm.
However, my passion, my bread and butter, which I don't want to lose, is strategy. So I can help companies strategize about how they want to do their build. I'm getting a GC license. I can do all of that. So how do you frame that? Um, Resolution Capital Group is the entity. Um, I want to have construction as part of the service, building construction, strategic planning of the construction or the business or the product, equity investing. So we do acquisitions. Of course, we buy places that we build and we sell. So kind of the flip thing. So there's this real estate kind of uh, P&L that we have. Um, there's also, I think, separately a strategy portion. So people can say, hey, I just need somebody to help me figure out my life, my product, my company. And so there's this strategy part that I really want to kind of push as well. Third, I have a nonprofit that I've had since 2007 where I teach personal financial literacy and responsibility. This is where the social aspect comes into play. I would like for 6th through 12th graders and second year in college, I would like all of my youngsters, all of my Black boys and girls to know about personal financial literacy as part of this nonprofit. So I would like to have a website that has the curriculum, pay for play. I don't know what that is, but some sort of
Learning management system.
learning management system where it's self-paced, etc. In addition to that, I have just published my first curriculum that
Okay.
can be distributed as this is a student workbook across all public school systems. So
Okay.
that is going to be published soon.
With the nonprofit.
The nonprofit. I don't know.
No, or the LLC. Okay.
It's
So
an LLC.
right. So okay, so this is more than a discovery call. This is us really unpacking this as you see it. And I have another client. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Fertile Ground here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mhm.
Um Aaron Dell, and I can show you her. So
Okay.
Erin and I have been working together for a long time. And okay, so I'm always looking like this because I'm a creative. And so that's how my dashboard looks. So
I love it.
that's just that's just how it is. Mhm. Erin had the same problem. So Erin was she was she's building a grocery store in Southeast Raleigh. It's called Fertile Ground. It's a co-op. It's near if you ever it's near Bragg Street, near the YMCA Garner Road. So it's a
Hmm.
very dilapidated area that's currently going through gentrification. Erin has that is her baby in Fertile Ground. She
Okay.
also works. She's also been called for consulting. She's also been going into some shamanism. She's also so she's got all she also wanted a store. And so I think it took us about 2 hours in a discovery session. This is just a discovery call from me to ask those questions that we needed to know to unpack each one of those businesses that she had, that each desire its own business plan. Because as a marketer, what I do is I make your business plan come into full fruition. So each business idea you have has to be organized into an organization, a corporation. And then, of course, you're going to have forecasted sales and a projection for each of those businesses. And
And
so,
I do. Yes, they all
so
have their own LLC.
and so what I would do is I would come in, I would look at that. Marketing is usually 25% of whatever that projection is. And then what we do is we start to pull out a plan that allows you to get to that space that you want to be in within that business space. So for Erin, what we did was we came up with a business called Raised Frequency, and that came out of the discussion. She said it. I was like, okay, that's the name of your business. And so Raised Frequency is public speaking, is organizations and institutional development, and it's personal development. And she also has a store. And so what we did was we kind of created the institution of Erin by being able to say, okay, what is that? What is it as far as what are you looking for? And this is a website that does that. So the umbrella is Raised Frequency, but you can book her for public speaking. And then when you come here, you book her for her public speaking. This is an automation. People fill it out. They get an automated email that comes back, and then she's able to answer them and say, okay, you just booked me for public speaking. You want to know more information about it. And she's able to compartmentalize what she wants based upon how they navigate the site. So she is a client that I'm working with currently right now. Once we put up the website, now what she is doing is she is now actually making the personal development creating, I guess, quarterly workshops for her target audience, which are women, where she is looking to hold webinars online and create a community of women that are seeking and getting into their best self. So that's her personal consultation. And through this particular landing page within her website, she's able to govern that space here. She's also with this particular contract also looking to take those women so that they're in a self-guided space, and they're also at their own pace being able to develop themselves as facilitators to be able to franchise what she is doing. And so this came out of her discovery session after, as I said, okay, well, how do we put this together? Let's organize it as, because in all of these spaces, what you're looking to do is you're looking to elevate people to a higher place, whether it's in their personal development, whether it's an organization or institution that is contracting you $20,000 for a speaking service, and or maybe a series of workshops within their organizations, whether it's you actually serving products out of your store, which she's currently working on right now. She, of course, she has this shamanism, and so she is having her facilitators purchase products from her as they actually grow within their ability to help others reach their personal high place. And so
Yes.
this is an example of a client that we had a well, I know Erin, I've been knowing her for 20 years. I saw her in passing. I think I went to the legislative day for whatever was happening at the time. I think she was on the steering committee for one of those historic preservation groups. And she was like to me, I just have this problem. People don't know who to book. They don't really understand what I'm doing. And so this is that solution. And so I would just sit with you and see, okay, do you want this all under one umbrella where people come and then they get to see exactly the more of what you do? Or do you want to have each of these entities separate and then be able to create a campaign for each of them based upon X budget and then build one at a time? So in that discovery session, we will see where you are and build, because you're one person. You're telling me about 4 businesses. So I know every last one of them are not in the same space. Probably the business that you're inheriting from your father is going to be a little bit more advanced, has its own customers, has its own drivers, than something that is where you are in the nonprofit, where you've just completed the book for the classes of financial literacy for young people. So in that discovery session, we would go through where you are in the maturation stage of each business. We would see what each business needs. We would survey each business plan and then carve out a marketing plan that will lead you to your financial goals based upon your budget. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
You did answer my question. Well, we didn't answer my question because my question was, how do I position myself? And you can't answer that question because I haven't given you enough the information to do so. And I realize that. But I love the direction and the framework that we're going to work through to get there.
Okay. So how did you, so are you also my Facebook friend? Are we
No,
Facebook buddies?
no, you gave me your card as I was leaving the session.
Okay. So you are divine, divine, divine time, I swear, because as I said, I'm on a hold on, let me get back to stop. Let me stop sharing. I'm actually on um a tour through Alabama. So let me tell you what I want to do, which I had someone in mind for the project, and I still would have to consult Carl on this because Carl is a construction company, is Right Build International. Are you familiar with Right Build International?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Carl and I are long-term friends. I've been in this game for 20 plus years. Carl and I got started at the same time. And he is building a billion-dollar project in the convention center in I guess RTP right now.
Okay.
Construction management company is doing that. And so my first goal is to reach out on this project that I've got coming with Carl, but I think that this is just the right synergy because um I part of my birthday was to reconnect. So my vision is, who said Hollywood had to be in California?
I saw that.
Okay. And so with that vision, it's really kind of an extension of my grandfather's vision. And my family has over 100 acres of land in Alabama. My grandfather inherited about 100 acres. My aunt currently right now has 80 of those acres. And in addition to my grandfather, not far from Owasso Evergreen, is Mixonville, the place that I'm from. 2 brothers, Murray and Mason, together had over about 200 acres of land. And we just recently had the family reunion here, and nobody wants to come home to build. Yeah. So I like your brothers don't want the construction company, you know, it's the same thing, right? And so my grandfather, to even add more layers to this, my father, I think he was masking autism. And back in the day they didn't really
We
understand it.
didn't have mental health
We did.
words. Yeah.
Right, right. And so I don't think it was ever really understood within my family what my father's condition was. To make a long story short, he was heavily influenced by Hollywood and Hollywood movies, although he was also brilliant. So somewhere he may have picked up the idea that he was maybe like black exploitation, kind of like Dolomite, kind of like I can have all these women kind of like thing. Yes, really. I know it's comical, but I had to live this story. So it's kind of like, oh my gosh. And so, to make a long story short, he had 7 children. And his last wife, he only had 2 wives out of those 7 children. And his last wife was a mail order bride from the Philippines. So he had this big vision that he was supposed to bring his wife's family here to wait on my grandmother hand and foot so she wouldn't have to lift a finger. So he kind of fought my grandfather in court for 25 years to to get his portion of the 100 acres. And before my grandfather passed away, he was disinherited and only left with 6 acres of land. And plus, he bought other land there. So my family right now is still in the midst of that because my father just passed away, and the daughter he had from that marriage is just, she's pissed. My father just passed away. They want the rest of their land. We got new heirs that we didn't even know about. So, and they want to really just make my aunt's life a living hell. So that's one issue. But then there's the family reunion plots of land that's also left, that specifically was left to be able, and I don't think it was just my grandfather. I think it was my grandfather and other mixins that allocated like 5 acres that sits across the street from a historic church to build a hotel. So I actually came here to see Mixonville. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I wanted to see strategically the value of where Mixonville sits. And it sits right off of 65, halfway between Mobile and Montgomery, which Montgomery is experiencing this phenomenal growth because of the new heritage museums that they have here that actually track being sold down the river. So we are strategically between two huge MSAs that I would like to be able to market as the new Black family reunion resort. This is a project that I want to see happen. Not only do I want to see this project happen for our family, I would like to attract other families there. And in addition to it being a family reunion resort, I want it to be a whole community. And I'm just trying to see, because Mixonville is an unincorporated Black city.
Mm.
Yeah, you calling right on time. You sure you're not one of my Facebook friends?
Wow.
So I would like
Mixson or
no S.
Mixon?
No S, Mixon. And if we're Facebook friends, you can kind of see what I've been posting over the last couple of days. I will send you a Facebook request so you can see it. So I said, oh, she must be calling because she saw all the posts, because I've been posting, and this is record amounts of energy that we're getting online because most of the Mixons have been raised coming back and forth to Mixonville. Now, because they were 2 mulatto brothers, my father said we had a lot of Mixons that passed as white and didn't come back, because even at the family reunion, they even spoke about how it was common knowledge that the family would say, marry white so that you could get a better life. So there are a lot of white people out here right now that are probably Mixons that family tree runs right back to Mixonville. So we'll have a call this, but this is a project that I would like to see done, and I would like to see lots. So put it like this: when I was a little girl, my father bought me this big train, and it was a big train that went around a city, and we had to build the city together. Now, me and my sister were the only two. The rest of my brothers and sisters is only one. Me and my sister were two. So my brother be like, "Oh, y'all was a whole family." And he never married my mother, so she's very bitter, and she, my mother and my father had a big court case, and my mother convinced me to go, and and then I had a blood test. I was angry for a long time, and at 12 I divorced my father and was really on some I don't ever have to see you ever again in life. And at 25, God told me, your father has everything you need. And at this time, the vision was a seedling of a vision. And it was like, before he passed away, I challenged him, like, what are you doing with your life? You have come convinced with Betty mixing honey and mustard together, making the best honey mustard. It's just honey and mustard. It's no rocket science to that, Dad. What are you doing with your life? And so, because my family not only is the largest Black family, land holding family in the state of Alabama. My father died getting um Shamari figures elected to the House of Representatives for Alabama, because the Figures family have been a political family for years. We've been a landholding family for years, but we've been a landholding family that hasn't built. And so now it's time to build. And so that is where I am. And like we will have a conversation. So I'm trying to get the family ready to build in such that we start a fund for it. So we need your services. We need your
Wow.
services.
You God is good. So I don't want to interrupt. You keep going.
All the time he's good. Let's praise. We can praise.
When I first came back, March 2024, I came with a suitcase and a puppy. I told my sister, I don't know if you saw my resume, but I've been my primary roles have been chief of staff to very senior persons in large tech companies. So I was chief of staff to the president of Intel Federal. I was chief of staff to the chief strategy officer. I was chief of staff to Amazon in Sunnyvale. I've worked in Shanghai and Shenzhen. I've done the supply line, but during this whole time, my love has been real estate, investing, and building. I'm going to, can I share my screen? Do you
Yeah,
mind?
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Hold on. Okay. So there you go.
I want to show you the latest projects that I was working on. Um, Let me hope this launches. This is one of the recent presentations I've given. And you're going to just um smile when you see this. This presentation is about owning a hotel and how to build it, how to do it, how to, and my partner is Nassau Investments. Mike Ely, he's the founder and CEO of a very large asset management company. And I was teaching the National Black MBA. You're going to see that later. Understanding why and what to do when you are building the foundation of how do I get involved in building a hotel? What does that mean? Black people own hotels. How do you get funding? How do you find the project? The project landed in your lap by familial means, but
Mhm.
I taught them how to do it. And so
Back to the
this,
other slide. Can I take a screenshot of that? The hotels.
you got the video. You're gonna have, you have the
I
video.
mean, I
Oh,
know, but I'm gonna post this after we get off of it. I'm instantly.
which, okay,
That's too long to wait to download and
which
upload.
one? Tell me which page.
No, no, no. Go forward.
Go forward.
That one. The one that says hotels. No, no, the one. Yeah, that one right there. There we go. Thank you.
Here's the financial advantages. Here are the emotional advantages. Here are the multifamily properties that we have built.
Oh
We've
wow.
built apartments in 15 months. We've acquired and built, starting from scratch, the land, $2.1 million profit. These are the different types of things we build. This is about hotel brands, how you get one. So we could build your hotel, but we would have one of these brands contribute to the funding. It will be a Hilton by Thomas family or whatever.
Mixing. The mixins. Yes.
The Mixons. We will get a budget. We do all of that. As a matter of fact, if it's done by one of these brands, it will be done because it's done by one of these brands. They have the template. We have to follow the template. There's not a lot of planning. They send the crews. Like, it is so much easier for a non-hotel builder to get started into hotel building or
Oh,
apartment or however you want to do it.
okay. So the hotel is done. Okay. So but we're also looking at a youth harbor as well. So a youth harbor that actually houses, what do you have for that? I see you have the affordable housing. I see the hotels. What
Yes.
about a youth harbor that that where we can actually have a multiplex, where we can actually have kids come, like a school, a micro school for the
So,
community
so
and a
here's
church.
or church. Here's where this, so I was at the end of this presentation, I was interjecting in, okay, let's do a live example.
Okay.
This is a hotel we are building. It's $230 million.
Mm-hmm.
I gave the investment summary. This is the executive summary. Here's what we're trying to do. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's how much you're going to get back when you invest. It's going to be 120 hotel rooms, 35 condos above the hotel, commerce on the full bottom floor. It's supposed to
Okay.
open October 2026. The average daily rate, that means how much the hotel room per night will cost.
Cost.
$300 per night. You multiply that by 120 rooms for one night and multiply that by a week. You can see what the returns they multiply. I showed the amenities is going to be a spa at the top. This is the hotel we're building now. The condominium availability. We do case studies on the city. How much is the city invested? What is the population? What is the city trying to plan to do? And so what corporations are relocating there? So we did all of this research. I pitched this. We do comps. What are the other things in the area? And so I pitched this. Now, what is so interesting about what you're talking about is the town, and this circle of confidence, because this is confidential, the town of Zebulon wants to build itself.
Okay. So it's not confidential because you're speaking to someone who hopes to be on the sustainability committee. They're voting on that whether or not I when I get back in July. So are you working with?
Do you see what I'm saying? So we have a team that is a city planner. He's a GC, so he would plan the infrastructure. I would do strategy. So I would walk everybody through whether it takes 1 year to 20 years. Okay, how are we doing now? Okay, here's what comes next. Next, we have to do the city bonds. Have you guys ever been late on it? They're going to check the money guys are going to check out me, you, the city, everybody. So let's get all that together. Okay, now we got to start with city planning. They want to do something with the stadium. You know that. They want to rebuild the stadium. We suggested different projects like a waste management plant, which would be the only one on the East Coast that doesn't exist because it's a sustainability. So it's a waste management that can go as far as Chapel Hill. You bring all your waste management, it's zero carbon energy. It would decrease and we would charge each city. And so we would fund ourselves. They were like,
What? Well, the Zebulun is one of the 12 tribes of Israel, right?
no.
Yeah, Zebulun is one of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Well, I did not know that.
Yes.
But the
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to share with you is, so we did that pitch working with the town of Zebulon. So we want to, they're a little slow on the draw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they need the help. They need someone to say, okay, here's what comes next. Here's what happens. We have to build the infrastructure, means the water, the sewer, the schools. We have to plot all of that. We have to make sure garbage can be like that comes before all the town. So they're
So
thinking
Mixonville will be a clean slate for you.
Mixonville would be a clean slate. We are kind of doing, we're waiting on Zebulon, but we are locked
We
and
don't
loaded.
even have that infrastructure. Zebulon is established historically for a long time with a beautiful. Mixonville is. I haven't been there, but it's there's a church that was there 100 years ago. Nothing. It's nothing there.
And our firm is not just Black owned, but it's my dad who's a legend,
Mm-hmm.
me who's strategy,
Mm-hmm.
my brother who's a lieutenant colonel and an architectural engineer from North Carolina A&T, and
Mm-hmm.
my other two
Aggie Pride. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride. Okay, I went to school in New York, so I
My
wish I would
son's
have
an
went to
engineer.
HBCU.
My son is an engineering student there, so I had to give you that. If you're paying tuition, you're Aggie Pride.
But my point is,
I get
we're
it.
locked and loaded to build a full city.
Okay.
And this would be nothing short of what is in our playing field. Now, we have submitted resumes, documents, we're fully bonded. We're locked and loaded. We do this for a living, but to do it for Black people,
Right. For the family
we don't
reunion
want to get our hands on it. We just land,
meeting.
we're going to build it and nobody will want to leave. We all
We
we
want,
need
let
from
me
you
let me
guys is a green light, and I will send you resumes, the bonds, the plans. We will get our flights ready. We will get boots on the ground for Black people.
yes. Yes. So and the meeting is next year, next September, and we have the first family reunion meeting after this meeting this Sunday. So what I want to do is maybe bring see what we need, because I also have Miss Pam Kelly at the table, and she can help drive the funding that has to go with the buying of the bricks to be able to establish it, as far as an economic plan to get there, along what you're doing as far as giving us the blueprint of what we would need. But I want, she has a Zoom prep room that can give accountability once we go ahead and make these once we make this plan to hit the milestones. She could be there to help drive those milestones so that we can know where we are at all times. So I would I would say that this project, along with what you have, kind of fits. And I want to see like how we can put the cameras on this in real time to tell the story, so that you've got cameras on you as you are moving to be able to, and then what we want to do is attract other family reunions to come.
Well,
So
town of Zebulon, they had a meeting with us. I recorded the meeting. I'll send it to you.
okay.
They had a this person goes across the nation and records towns being built, a historian, but
Okay.
she does, and she's on the recording, so I can get her name.
That
But
was me.
you don't need someone wants to
That-
do this
okay.
already.
Okay, so wait a minute. I was on a call that where they were on, you are you working with Commissioner I think I was on that
Eh,
call.
Miles,
Yes, I was on that call. You were talking to me. You were talking to me. That
what?
was me.
Wait, are you? So
I'm Kamisha
you?
Thomas. I live in Zebulon. I was on that call. I
So
was on.
you remember us?
I remember you now.
I'm
I remember you now.
not. I
I,
can't. I can't. I can't right now. You
I
were on
remember.
the call
I was on that call, yes, because he's been bringing me, because I want to establish an office in Zebulon, but this is going to be my home office. So
in
this
Alabama.
in Alabama, yes, this is where I want to put the databases. So I
So
want to,
are you the historian that he was
yes, that was me. That's me. That was me. Yes. So, yes. So this is part two of it all. I mean, all you can do is praise, right? Praise God, praise. So
Well, you heard our spiel. You know who we are.
I hear a lot of spills. So it's like my brain cannot. And then I had Carl in mind. I had another friend in mind, but then you called today, and and then when I researched you before the call, I was like, wait a minute, is she really doing all this construction? So it was like, okay, well, maybe she saw our post, but then you're telling me about the phone call, and now you're jogging my memory. That was me on the call with Commissioner. He had me come to the call because he wants to bring me to the board. He said to Misha, I need you. And I'm like, I'm trying to go to Alabama. He's like, no, we're going to vote in July for you to come here. So he's making sure that I don't leave Zebulon. That's what he's doing. He's making sure I don't leave North Carolina. So I will have an office in North Carolina, and I want to have the bigger office here that's gonna fuel the Hollywood, because I want to retire in Alabama.
This, you can't make this up.
No, you can't. This is called the holy hookup. It happens all the
You
time.
were there.
That was me. Yeah, I was on
You
that.
met my brother who built part of the Washington Monument. He
I
built the
think I
quads.
came in. I think I came in late. I think I came in late to that call. I think I came into the call at the very end. I'm kind of remembering the call, but I think it was with because Commissioner was on the call. I remember them
Yes.
talking about the city. He's been introducing me to a lot of people, but I've been running, getting from this place to that place, and present like, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, I'm
Yes.
coming.
I think he said that on the call. He's like, I got to get somebody on the line. And it was
Me, yeah, me.
you.
It was me, and I think it was also it was what is her name? She has the Fannie Lou Hamer young lady group that was that she's a lawyer and her family has land
Yes.
in Zebulon too.
Yes.
Angela
And a
Simmons.
pastor.
It was Angela Simmons on that call.
Yes. Yes. Her. And so my family is deeply rooted in construction, but also we want to prevent our construction projects are very, they can be large construction projects. However, we're particularly interested in not stopping gentrification into our neighborhood. So we buy properties that are being pushed on, we'll buy them quickly
Okay.
and
Okay.
we will rent it back to the owner. So we
Okay.
are very, very interested in maintaining our communities. So this is right
I got a whole city for you. I got a whole city for you.
our alley. But in addition to that, um, if you remember my brother, Lamar Mayo from the Aggie, also built the quads at Howard,
Okay.
the brand new quads. And like his resume is like, it's hard to believe he's my brother. And my
Right.
dad, there are architects that have been in Architecture Digest from North Carolina that only work with my dad. He's a man of excellent, like they will only contract out to my dad.
Okay.
Because he just is very particular about his end product and he's a man of excellence and I'm the same. I just happen to know how to visualize something that you say, Sonia, I want to be right here. And I will ask probing questions. And then I know how to get there. That is just something the Lord gave me. And I can tell you how to get there incrementally. And then we figure out the budget, but I can draw out strategy relatively easy by God's grace. So
Okay.
that's what I really love to do. But in addition to that, we have the GC, we have the builder, and we have a town planner who plan this Baltimore area. And he built up the condos, everything from traffic to hotels to Yuppieville and high rises. So we have a team of Avengers who can really knock it out of the box. Now, this project is our bread and butter. We would love to do it. We're happy to bid whatever process you all want for this process. I can also help you run a bidding process where others can bid and help you choose, but so we can be your partner without building. Don't feel any pressure. We want you to get the best builder for this project. However, we can walk you through how to do the bidding
Process.
process.
Okay. And so I think that that is great. So I think I'm hearing several things. I'm hearing so many things. I'm hearing one moving into the mix and reunion wrap up session with having them see portions of this video and then maybe having you come back and speaking to the team
Okay.
so that they can see it because um 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 they've we have a the elders are ready for us to build. It was my grandfather's vision for us to build, and the only reason we haven't was because my papa was a rolling stone. My father was supposed to build, he just was confused after watching too many movies in the 70s. I mean, he really got confused. And so I think we're behind the eight ball in building, but I do believe because of where we are strategically located, and because of the history of Alabama, and because of what the tourism division is currently experiencing right now in Montgomery, we're looking to be a halfway point that is not only a futuristic museum, because most museums have this late soon be done trouble over across the world. I'm a slave. I mean, we got so many slave museums, it's ridiculous. I just came back from Buffalo. There's an Underground Railroad Museum. I would like to see a futuristic museum, and not only a bidding process to build museums, but art installation structures as well. And so with me working with as an artist with Raleigh, I recently was a part of preserving the history of Oberlin and was introduced to an art installer. I forgot his name, and that's his mastery. So not only are we looking to do bidding for buildings, we also want to do bidding for art pieces, so that when we build it, you're feeling like you're sitting in the future of your community. So like we would like to attract other family reunions here too, so that because there's a lot of land, that 40 acres and a mule, a lot of people got it. So they say they didn't get the mule, or it was indigenous people who never incorporated. So I run across that a lot, where they're just sitting on land. So my father said a lot that we were Indian, Blackfoot Indian, and I'm not sure how that tied into everything, but I also want to influence other people sitting on large acres of land like this to build. So when they come here to this place, this family reunion resort, we are, from the aesthetics, from the time that they walk in, you are excellent and you can do what we have done. So I would like to see not only a process of bidding for buildings, but also a process of calling artists to the table for art installations that also will inspire other family reunions when they come here to use the resort to also build. So yes, we will need that process as well, and more than just a hotel, because we want to build a city, really.
It's kind of like Zebulon. Like
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
want the whole thing.
Just like on a zero. Zebulon's like a 5 because they've
Yeah,
got infrastructure. Like we got
right.
plumbing, and I think in this place. I haven't been there, but Evergreen itself, like where where my grandfather located, when they built their house, they had to bring in all the infrastructure, all the water, all the raw land. I'm talking about raw land. I'm talking about deep off in the woods land.
So, how many acres total?
I'm not sure. When I asked her that question, I know the family reunion, I think, has about 5 or 6 acres, but I don't know particular how big the city is. When I asked, they said it was about 20 acres. So I mean, but it's got to be bigger than that. I didn't see it for myself.
When you say family reunion center, can you be more specific? What do you envision it being?
I see a place where people can come and for healing first. So I mean, first I would see a place for healing. And I mean, I would see the hotel, but I would see little buildings around it as well, because it just depends. If I can get my aunt's land, it'll be a whole lot more. But I see a place for healing, like, a hotel, but I also see like little cottages where people can actually just like heal. Because I think that's what we did this family reunion. I came in ready to give granddaddy's vision, and Aaron was like, Tamisha, first we got to heal, because the reason why we haven't been building, because families have to heal from the trauma of slavery. Like, I asked my father, why were you so confused? Like, because we was free. So I think that if we brought families there to heal the relationships, even the family reunion, Murray and Mason were the mulatto brothers, and I just found this out, they weren't speaking. They actually held the family reunion because people like knew that they were brothers, because they were two mulatto men walking around town, and they had two families walking around town. And they're like, well, we can't marry each other's kids. They brothers. Let's bring everybody together with this family reunion. And so they actually had, the family reunion was to heal two brothers who were not on speaking terms. So you can't build with, from a family perspective, if the family structure is chaotic. So we want to bring families there and let them understand, like, hey, this is what a community is, an extension of the family. And so we want to be able to bring that to the forefront and say, let's heal these relationships in your family that's preventing you from being a solid community. And so that's where I see it starting first. And then as we acquire more and more land from people who are selling the land, because I haven't seen exactly what geographical space this is, how big it is, who owns what. I know that we've got 5 acres or
Okay.
6.
So hotel with cottages. What else do you
I
foresee?
think it's a church across the street that probably needs to be renovated, and I would like to see a church, a state of the art church with youth spaces for the youth to hang out, because I know it's no place for the youth to hang out, with like music rooms and labs for learning and robotics and chemistry sets. I mean, like a space that is like a school slash church slash community resource center that people can use. And I'm talking about, I mean, I want it to be different from the hotel because I want people to feel that praise. This community was known for praising from a little girl. What I remember most about this is the praise that came from the church. I'm talking about the praise that will lift your spirit so high. God, can we get free? And I'm 5 at the time. So these people were like in the 80s. So these are elders that are like 60, 70, 80 years old singing after the family reunion. So the praise that came out of that church was once so strong. And I would like to see, church space and youth space first before we develop, and then eventually affordable housing, and then eventually, whatever else that comes.
In the 5 to 6 acres, affordable housing.
Yeah, I'm quite sure there's some people there that need some housing, because I know that my father rented out, he always had some type of property. He was renting to a cousin or a cousin for something.
Okay. What about commerce?
Oh yes, I mean, I would love to see retail. I saw how you have the retail spaces and the hotel and the top floors. I love that. I love the idea of having mixed use development, because we definitely want people shopping if they're coming for a family reunion. And theaters. I would see theaters too. Broadway doesn't have to be in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So,
studios. So studios would be on the
yeah.
5 acres, but I mean, I would acquire that somewhere else. But I eventually would like to put the studios there in Mixonville as well.
When
Well,
you
I
say
really
studios, what kind of studios?
TMT studios, different studios, where we have Studio One where we're producing this show, Studio Two we're
Oh,
producing
okay.
that show.
Okay. Okay, great. So, um, all of this is very doable, especially if it doesn't exist there. You
Yeah,
would attract so many visitors. Oh, you said a museum.
yeah. Oh yes, a museum.
Okay, a state of the
And
art.
a futurist, I think a museum of about the brothers, who they were, all of the ancestors on the tree. So we've got 2 brothers. Each of them had 12 children apiece. So we would tell, as many of stories whose family members want us to tell that story, because I think what it does is it would draw in the support for the money. It's because those families would want to have their ancestors' stories told. And I think that in my family, you get a bunch of academic accolades. So that would actually be able to start the buying of the big brick process, getting them engaged, having them get their friends engaged within their communities. So I think that would be a good fundraising piece, with the museum that highlights the direct ancestor.
Okay, I love it. So this is a multi-year project
Mm-hmm.
that we would do in phases,
Mm-hmm.
really building out the infrastructure first, meaning you got to get the water, the sewer, we got to get the roads in. Um, for city planning, there's per certain amount of acres, we have to put a school. It's
Mm-hmm.
usually required by the state. So, and you want that. You want a school in this area where there's affordable housing is. So, there's a couple of things that are must-haves, but it's just you would want it too
Mm-hmm.
once we introduce it to you, like a school. Um,
Right.
and this is an elementary and middle and high school.
Right.
Um, of course, new roads, So, I mean, it's at least a small city. It's at least a Durham.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Well, I
talking
mean,
about.
let's let me look at it. I don't want to make because I was supposed to go before I came to Huntsville, but I just didn't have the bandwidth because I needed to get back to. I mean, it's been a 2 3 week 50-year-old vacation. I mean, like at some point I got to start working again,
Who
right?
says? Who
And
says?
my client, so like Tamisha, you had to make this meeting, Tamisha, where are you? And the fact that I've got to start at the youth, and clients like, how long are you going to be away? So those.
I got you. I got you. So,
Councilman Miles, like, when you coming back? We're voting in July. Where you going? You better get back.
what are they voting now? Would they happen to be voting on the bond to help us build it?
Well,
What?
see,
What are you?
I don't know. So I know that they're voting on whether or not they're going to have a sustainability committee, and they had to get the budget through. So that is one of the reasons that they hadn't installed their sustainability committee yet. And so, because I asked him, "What is the sustainability committee?" He's like, "I don't know. You can decide it once you come to the committee." I'm like, "What's that?" And so, but they had to get the budget through. And so they had been working on that. So apparently they got to put you in the budget or make sure there's some allocation there and then vote to see whether or not, you know what I'm saying, you have the project. So they've been working on the budget for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 4 minutes. So what
Mm.
I would love to do is, since we are this, you did help answer my question. We're going to narrow the website down to the construction company piece, because
Mhm.
that's the biggest part of what we do. And
It
it's
is.
the most known part of what we do. It just doesn't exist yet. My dad is like, people just call him, hey, I need you to build this, dorm at North Carolina A&T. Like, they just call. So
Hmm.
there is no presence. And I need to start to make a presence for these particular instances. So how do we move forward with building the Resolution Capital Group construction presence? We'll worry about the nonprofit. We're going to add that later. What do I need to do to help
Well,
build?
so we would schedule a discovery session. Sit down and do a discovery session at my offices in Raleigh. And so let's schedule that now. That discovery session is $250. I just sit with you for about 2 hours or until needed. And then from that I come back with a plan to say this is what you need. So that is a 250 cost. From there, that plan may be you taking this service, or this service. But what I can do is I can sit down and see what you want to do. And then I come back and say, okay, this is how you get that done.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay.
So let's schedule that.
And then what I want to do on this end is I want to take this video, produce give it to the shop it to the family reunion committee for this meeting coming Sunday, and say, hey, it's time to build. Let's set up another call with Sonia and have a conversation with her and have you meet the team so that they can get any questions answered and to see where they are in this space. And what I could do is call you back on like probably Monday and let you see when that would be available. And they usually meet on Sundays. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
Okay.
I am teaching an investments course, webinar, 3-part webinar starting Sunday. Um,
Okay.
and you see, that's the other strange thing. The everything is building all at the same time. And I'm going into a TED Talk kind of process.
Mm-hmm.
And the people are calling about the financial literacy, which is great. But I also need some help. So I want to have a website where I can really attract a personal assistant and partners to help with these partner things. I'd like to duplicate myself to kind of run the foundation and focus on these large projects, but I don't know how to do that, whether it's social media, or through a website, or through networking. And so I would love because marketing is selling for sure, talking, but also bringing people in. You
Right,
know,
right. So you have to
thinking
look at the infrastructure of how you're going to do that. And so I'm not suggesting that you go with construction. I'm suggesting that we look at all four of the things that you're doing right now, and then let's put it on a timeline to see exactly like you strategy. We gotta put a strategy behind this and say,
exactly.
you know, what's taking your time. If the construction is the bread and butter right now, or if it's where you're spending your time, you've got to still pull together a project timeline milestone strategy for this business as well, and see how are you going to make this generate income. And so you've got to lay down a strategy for that, and you may need to look at getting a remote team to be able to do some of the work and task it out and see what are those tools and how to do that. And
Yes.
so in that strategy session we can look at all of that.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Sure. Do you want me to use the link again, or you want to look at
Yeah,
it
use
now?
the link again. Well, let's look at it because what's your yeah, use the link again, and now you use the link again and then send me a text to let me know that you scheduled something.
Okay, okay. I sure will use the first link or the second one. Don't use the one I used today, right?
Um you can use that one. Just send me a text when you're when it's done. I've got to go in and connect that up to my calendar. But
And
just
let me send you a cleaner video because we had oohs and ahs on this video. Can I
okay.
send you a cleaner kind of explanation of what we do, a really quick kind of infomercial
Yes, you can.
that
Yep.
you can shop around?
Yep.
Okay. How
That'll be
much
great.
how much time do you need? You need a couple of weeks for us to reconvene or
No, we can do something in about let's do I get back to town Monday. Let's do something the week after the 4th of July, the week of 7, the week of the 7th.
okay.
That.
Okay.
Um and then this will be in person. This will be an in-person meeting.
Okay.
So that
Yes.
way,
Yeah. Let's do in person.
and then you schedule some time to just kind of breathe through it. And then bring your business plan for all four of the businesses so we can take a look at it, and your projections for each one of those businesses and the services for each one of the businesses as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. This
Okay.
has been amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Do you want me to send you the recording that you were on?
Yes, do that. Do that. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Commissioner Miles, I mean, the other I want satellite offices across the country, like I said, but Zebulon being I can't leave Zebulon because that's where I'm getting all the tech because I do robotics as well. So I'm pulling all that robotics information and all that robotics work out of North Carolina because we are the Silicon Valley of the East. So I
What do
can't
you mean do robotics? What do you mean by that?
I have a robotics program. So my
Mm,
son
meaning?
I have a robotics program. We were a part of first, but
Okay.
yeah,
So
so
kids building robots, not
uh,
putting robots into corporations and
no,
redesigning
no,
supply lines.
it's youth, just like you have a youth literacy
Yep.
youth. I have a youth program for robotics, and this is all the stuff we want to bring back to Mixonville. So I also have a nonprofit too that actually teaches kids how to do video, how to do STEM, how an industry pipeline for STEM. So
Do you
finance.
have a grant writer?
No, I don't have a grant writer, but do you know about Bitify?
No. What's Spinify?
Benify, you pay them $5,000. They just keep writing. They actually write bids for government contracts, but I'm quite sure Benify can also write government grants as well.
Bene.
Bidify.
Oh, Bidify.
Bidify.
Bidify.com.
Yeah, Bidify.com. Now they like I said, they write for oh yes, I do know a grant writer. I know a grant writer. She is I'll send you her contact information. She is what is her name? She ran WB Du Bois Center. Her name is Betty Murchison. Betty Murchison in Durham. She writes grants.
You don't use her?
I don't use her. No, because I have been making sure that my program is stellar. So I'm still building the program out and writing the curriculums.
Do you know her contact information or her
Let me see.
company name?
Hold on. Betty Murchison.
Sounds so familiar.
Are you I'm quite sure. Okay, let's see. Hold on. 919
Mm-hmm.
714 3854. Betty Murchison at gmail.com. And it's BETTIEMURCHISON at gmail.com.
Okay. I like Bitify that if they can kind of look at your business plan and apply to a lot of grants and
Well, they actually they actually bid on government contracts for you. And they guarantee that they'll win you a bid, and if they don't, they keep writing.
so $5,000 for the year.
For results. Bitify. They will write you five. They will write you five. I guess the answer are a request for proposals, RFPs,
Okay.
and they answer our RFPs, and they will write five of them, and they guarantee you a result. And if they don't win you a contract, then they keep writing.
And you pay another 5K if you want them to do
No,
5 more.
no,
After
no.
that, after that.
Yeah, yeah. After you win the first award, then you pay them again for the next award. And so they guarantee that they will win your award. And if they don't win the award, they keep writing. So they're gonna win you something.
I love that.
I love that too.
But you don't use them?
Not yet, not yet. I'm putting my ducks in a row. I'm still building infrastructure for all of these programs. I mean, you can't have a nonprofit, a for-profit, a marketing. So I'm putting my efforts right now in marketing, and I just want a small amount of small businesses in marketing, and then I take it a little bit at a time. Then I'm a mom, and then I got to go spend 3 weeks on my birthday, and then I got to work for Zebulon. So I just take it a little bit at a time, a little
I
bit.
don't blame you. I
But
don't blame you.
Bitify is my is the next space. Once I get 10 clients from the marketing spaces, I've been working for the for-profit for so long. So I had to do piece by piece by piece by piece as I build.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in a space where, okay, now I see what we're going to bring into Mixonville.
Oh yeah.
So I've been building what I'm going to bring into Mixonville. So that's what took so long. What do I want? And I didn't even really know that that's what I was doing. I kind of knew it's going to happen. Oh God, and then you call and it's starting to line all up. But
I can't believe it.
yeah. So it's who said Hollywood had to be in California, one piece
Yes.
at a time. And so Mixonville would be our Hollywood.
Yes. Yeah. That's giving me some ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to get too excited until I hear back from you about more how much land it is, and then I can have a picture. But you see my brain where I went. I mean, I have about a
Yep.
15
Yep.
acre piece of land where there's infrastructure, schools, housing, a museum, a church that's state of the art, a conference center. I know you called it a mixed use commerce, but a resource center, but I see a conference center where
I'm gonna
they
let
can
you do it because you this is your lane. This is your lane. You get to put your name on this.
I can listen. I'm on my whiteboard after I talk to you. I'm on
Okay.
my
Okay.
whiteboard.
Okay. Okay.
I love it.
And
I love it.
I'm gonna get you more people from that area who actually can answer the questions. And that's what will be on the call. I'll be on the call with them on Sunday. I will have a date for you for when the committee can meet with you next, and we
Okay.
can take it from there.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a video infomercial of
Okay.
us and what we
Okay.
do.
I'll
Thank
shop there on Sunday.
you.
No, thank you.
All right. I'll talk
Hollywood
to
had
you
to be in
soon.
California, right? Have a good
Yes.
one. Have a good one.
All right, darling.